Scowl, my fellow Vikings. We're off today on a 14-mile hike up over Kinderscout from Castleton. So we're going to head along the bottom of Lewes Hill and then head up along the old Roman road, then cut across to Crookstone Hill, Crookstone Knoll. We're going to have a quick blat over to Madwoman Stones, then along the edge path to Grindslow Knoll, drop back down to Edale and back over Hollins Cross. At the moment we're on Holliford Road, which is the old corpse road from Edale. They never used to have a church in Edale or a cemetery, so basically they used to have to bring the dead over to Castleton to be buried. It's -1. Not expected to get much above freezing. It certainly won't be on the tops. I've done, as I always say, be bold, start cold. 14 miles, 2,500 foot of ascent. I've got my merino base layers on and a fleece at the moment. I'll put the hard shell on if I get any breeze or wind, but we'll soon warm up. Ultimate backup, I've got my Araeus mountain equipment jacket in. If I stop for any reason, like for lunch, I can just stick that on and keep warm. So yeah, that's today's walk. As always, the route will be in the Facebook group and also on Outdoor Active, so follow the links in the video description. Behind me there you can see Mam Tor in the fog and the mist. So all the crowds up there today will have a fantastic sunrise. Not. I don't know if you've seen it, I've posted enough on Facebook about it, but there's been, the last 3 weekends or so have been absolutely crazy up there anyway, but absolutely crazy. Shut the Mam Nick car park, people parking like absolute twats, and I mean twats. In the end they've sent the police up there towing vehicles away and giving people tickets, so hopefully people have found that nice surprise when they come back. I mean, it was ridiculous. They were parking at the top of Winnet's got shut one day. Emergency vehicles had no prayer of getting through. Gritters couldn't get through. I don't know what's wrong with people. If I go out for a walk somewhere and I can't find anywhere to park, I have a plan B, or I'll find a plan B. It's common sense, whatever happened to it. Dead simple when you come to somewhere like the Peak District. I'm all for people coming here. It's a national park, it's open to all. 3 or 4 simple rules. Don't park like a twat. Don't leave your litter. Don't leave your dog shit bags. Close the fucking gates. Just treat the area with respect. This is people live and work here. Quite a lot of people live and work here, in fact. So it's just showing a bit of respect. You know, trouble is I think some of these people don't even respect where they live themselves. I haven't seen half of them in the white trainers, sliders, shorts and Google Maps. It's just ridiculous. You know, in winter up Mam Tor, it can be treacherous. The steps up there don't get gritted. You know, you need micro spikes at the very least. And that's what I normally do if I go up there. I've been on my arse a couple of times when I forgot them. So, you know, it's just like, follow the countryside code. I put a video up I did about it. Anyway, try not to get too upset about that, which I think I did quite well there. So yeah, just trying to up the mileage this year. I've got a few big hikes planned. I know I keep saying that a bit, but I'm determined this year in summer to get a few done. Some might be over 1 or 2 nights, some will be in a day. So the Edale and Kinder Skyline are on the list, the Hope Valley Round, the Nine Edges Walk. So I'll either do them in Awana, which is my aim, because they're all about a 20 odd mile, which should be doable in a day. Today's 14 mile, should take me about 6 hours, maybe a little bit longer, depending on how long I film and all that sort of shit. The cement works in Hope, been there since 1929 I think, one of the biggest employers around in the area. That's due to close in 2042 I think, or 43. So I don't know what they're going to do with it then. There's all sorts of consultations going on. I've just noticed something. There's a few people on here, it'll die off once we get up in the hills, but there's quite a few people doing a low level walk. And the older generation always say hi, hello. Youngsters, rather just got their AirPods in or yeah, just ignore you. Say hello to them, it's like, what's that? That's a bit of a shock. People just seem to be, I don't know, wrapped up in their own little bubbles now, on TikTok probably. Anyway, so far so good. I don't think the weather's going to clear today. Yesterday it sort of opened up a little bit, so you had blue skies coming through the cloud. It might still do yet. It's only about 9:30, I think. We're just heading over to Hope, or the top of Hope. We're going to sort of skit above that and then cut over towards the Roman road at the bottom of Win Hill is the next step. A new present here. So I've got the Garmin Phoenix 7X solar, but I'm using the GPS today, so got about 12.5 miles left, I think. So yeah, it gives you like that. It shows you turn by turn. You can pause it and stuff. Loads of tracking information on it, hours, heartbeat, stuff like that. But also you've got a map, so you can see where you're going. I've got toasty something maps, I think they're called, because they haven't got the Ordnance Survey maps on Garmin watches or Garmin devices anymore. There's a bit of an issue about the licensing costs and stuff, but yeah, really impressed. So much on this. I might do another video on it, but there's a lot out there, but it just saves me using my phone, so I can just use my watch, have a quick look where I am. I've got Outdoor Active on my phone as a backup if I need it, and then I've also got a map and a compass as always. But yeah, pretty accurate, and so far so good. Staring competition there. Hey up, mate. Someone's lost a water bottle. That'll stay there for about 1,000 years. Anyway, onwards and upwards. You can see Hope here, just over to the right. Hope's an interesting place. That's been there since, well, they found Neolithic and Bronze Age stuff there. I put a bit of info up about that, but they've found axes and stuff. I think Hope means place in the ended valley, so like, you know, a closed valley, I think. It's had various names, Hop and Hope and all sorts. It was actually given to Uhtred of Bamborough. Now, if you know anything about Bernard Cromwell and the Last Kingdom, there's a character in there who that was based on, or who was based on that, should I say, called Uhtred of Babenberg. But yeah, Uhtred of Bamborough pretty much ruled Northumbria, from what I can recall, and he was given that, and it was also reaffirmed by Ethelstan, who was the sort of recognised by most historians as the first King of England. So yeah, quite a potted history. There's the remains of a Norman motte there in the back of someone's garden. You can just about see it from the road. There's a couple of really cool crosses there. So there's one in the churchyard, which is an old Saxon cross, which they lost for a while during the Civil War. I think people hid it to protect it, and that was found when they were renovating an old schoolhouse, and they put it in the churchyard. There's also the Eccles cross, which is an old waymarker cross up on Eccles Lane. That's in there too. So yeah, some really cool history there. There's an old pinfold there. They used to have what was called a harding fair there years ago, which was where labourers and whatever would come to a fair in order to get hired for work. Latterly, there'd be lead mining, obviously in Pindale. There's the remains of the old lead mine there. You've still got the pump house there. I've shown that on plenty of my walks. I'll put a couple of pictures up. And then lately, obviously, the infamous or famous, it's a bit Marmite for some people, is the old cement works, which has been there since 1929 and produces about 25% of the UK's cement. Again, I've done a video on that where I walked through it a couple of times. I'll put that up. But yeah, it's a nice little place, Hope. Lovely little church with a rather obscene gargoyle. Again, I'll find a picture of that, but he's up to no good. I won't go into too much detail, but he's on his own and pleasuring himself. But apparently the local school kids used to find that really good and funny. Really good view there of like Shatton Moor and Abney Moor, Rebellion Knoll. Did a good walk over that actually. That's not a bad place. I got my eye on that for a wild camp. So it's a little bit quieter. There is a bit of a shooting estate up there over on Offerton Moor, but I think this side towards Bradwell quite quiet, and I've never really seen anyone camping up there, so I got my eye on that. This weekend, or last weekend, no, yesterday, sorry, I'm going senile. I was going to go up to Crookstone Knoll for a camp, but overslept. My batteries hadn't charged up because I turned off my GoPro charger, so hence I'm going to do a walk today, scout out the area for a few camping sites. I know of a few already. The one at Crookstone sort of hill is quite, knoll is quite common, but yeah, so we'll see how I go. A bit of a scouting expedition, bit of history on the way as I walk through. As always, you can't beat a good gate. Look at that, look at them weights, mate. Hayes Outdoors would be proud of that, wouldn't he? Bit of gatage. If you can hear that, I'll turn the sound up, but there's lovely church bells pealing away in Hope. Can't beat it. Lovely view of the Hope Valley there. Right from Winnett's Pass, Castleton, Hope, and then Bradwell's up over in the Dale over there, and then down towards Hathersage. Look at those two beauties. You can't beat a herding coo. Well, the watch came into its own, it buzzed me then, and I'd gone a bit too far. I was on autopilot then on my usual local walk. When I saw the footpath sign, I thought I should be going towards the Edale Road. Anyway, luckily I hadn't gone too far. I went to see them Hollin cows and then just checked the watch quickly and boom. So that's good, it's working, it's accurate. So yeah, I'm just going to go through this person's backyard and follow the path to Edale Road, which is here. There's a mighty Windhill. I wonder if a Windhill King's up there today. If you don't follow him on Instagram, the Windhill King. He's a character, mate. He goes, I think he did it 150 times or more last year. I was going to do about 6 or 7 rounds of it up and down Parking Clough, which is about the toughest climb in the Peak District. But yeah, he's a character, mate. He picks a lot of rubbish up and he touches up the trig point and keeps it all nice and clean. So yeah, follow him. Well worth a follow. Just here you can see some goods trains all in the sidings there, just outside of Hope. So that's the main sort of Sheffield-Manchester line I think they're going to go on. I think they meet up that around here somewhere. I'm no expert on railways. If you do like your railways, and you do like your disused railways and your history on railways, follow a guy called Trekking Exploration. He's on Facebook and YouTube. He does some really, so I'm just watching my feet here, a bit muddy. I'm glad I bought my Scarpers today. I was on an hour about coming in my Moabs, but I'm glad I didn't in the end. But yeah, he does a really good channel, exploring old railway lines and all the history and that, and yeah, worth watching. He does some cool explorations. He did the tunnels on Ladybower Reservoir and stuff like that, so well worth a look. And this bridge takes us over the River Knowe, which starts up on Kinder Scout by Knowe Stool, which we're not going to go past today. We don't go that far along. I think now, if I remember rightly, we head up here to meet up with the Roman road. Yeah, this is the main Sheffield to Manchester line. You can see the sidings there where the sort of quarry goods wagons park up before they head into the cement factory. Quite quiet in a minute, I think. If I not recall correctly, there's some works going on and there's like a temporary bus service. We head up here and I think that's our path there. Heads up onto the old Roman road. That might even be part of the Roman road, to be honest. And then along to Hope Cross. And then in the background we can just see Kinder. Still a fair bit of snow up there by the looks of it, in the gullies. We'll see what it's like up there. I'm expecting mud. Sillily, I haven't got my spikes with me. but I think I should be okay. It's not that cold today, I don't think. Somebody's clearly had issues in the past, including the DV. What about that, Mark Bryan? Do you know about that? Anyway, let's crack on up here. This is an old cart track. You can see this probably coming up from Hope to join the main road through to Glossop. Across the old Roman road you go up and meet up with Snake Pass and follow the road up to Melandra. There's also one that goes off towards Templeborough. That tends to go across towards Stanage Edge, Stanage Pole that way. I think they call that the Long Causeway. So yeah, just a lot of steady climbing now. Then along to Hope Cross, up Crookstone Hill. It's going to be a claggy day, but stunning little track this. There is a footpath, but this looked a bit of a more gentle ascent and got me to where I wanted to be. I was being incorrect before. That's Crookstone Hill and Knoll there. So you go up here from Hope Cross, up onto the top and along, looking very claggy. Not many people out today at all. Yeah, just confirming from the map and my other details, this is actually the Roman road that runs through here. So you can imagine the people who have been walking on these paths for 2,000 years or more. Probably more, to be honest, because they would have followed the paths that people have been using before. So potentially back to Neolithic times, because people like to get up on the ridges, and that's how they used to travel back then. This place was covered in trees and bog and all sorts, and you couldn't really navigate very easy. But obviously once you're up above a tree line on the hills and ridges, you have a very clear view of where you were heading, if there were any places of habitation ahead of you, etc. So that's how they tended to travel. So, you know, people have been walking this for thousands of years, and hopefully for thousands more. Nice little water source there. Flowing on down into the valley. Always amazes me who builds these walls. Look at that, straight as a die up that hill. Thought me that must have been hard work and hard graft up here in God knows what weather. Hopefully summer building that wall. Crazy, isn't it? We don't know we're born these days, do we? We really don't. Anyway, let's switch this around, because I think that'll look far better with the Vale of Edale behind me rather than a load of bracken. So yeah, we're about 4 miles in, just over 10 miles to go. I'm starting to think that I might not pop over to Mad Woman Stones. You did get some nice views up there and that, but it's going to be just clagged out, and I don't really want to be pissing about up there in this clag, to be honest with you. I think I'll just stick to the edge path today, unless it clears of course, but not looking good in that sense. So I think I'll probably take about half a mile off the route, so not a lot. We'll just do the edge path, I think. Quite popular with mountain bikers this trek, because it is actually, you know, it is an old cart track. I think it's a, you know, what do they call them? Oh God, sitting right away anyway that motorised vehicles and bikes and stuff can go on. There's a couple of motorbikes earlier and that, but that's fine if you stick to paths like this, isn't it? Not a problem at all. Although there always seems to be middle-aged men on bikes. What's that all about? Yeah, you can see right over to the far side, so I think that's pretty certain that's Grindsbrook, which will be coming down. That there's a nab and ringing Roger. Morning.
Thank you.
No worries. Where we camped in summer. So yeah, let's crack on through this and quagmire. So glad I bought the Scarpers today. I'd have been wet by now, I think. Perhaps the only downside is The road ends up like that with all these bikes and motorbikes. So we'll just come off to the side here. You know, I'm always a fan of sticking to the paths, but let's be pragmatic, eh? There's a beautiful Vale of Edale. I'll give you a bit of history on this while we're here. So the earliest recorded spelling of a name as it is today, Edale, is 1732. But in the Domesday Book, 1086, it was recorded as Adale, 1251 as Haydale, Edale in 1279, Edale in 1285, and Edale in 1550. And it's the name of the valley of the River Knoll. So from the Norman conquest times, it was in the forest of the High Peak, and right in the middle, up on Kinder, is Edale Cross, and that marked the boundaries between the forest, Campania, Hopedale and Longdale. And originally it was several booths in the valley, which were established in the 13th century as vaccaries, which were cattle farms along the valley of the River Knoll, which then developed into hamlets called booths. So you got Upper Booth, which was once Crowdonley Booth, and Over Booth, Barber Booth, which was once Whitmorley Booth, Grindsbrook Booth, Ollerbrook Booth, and Nether Booth, also known as Lady Booth and formerly Lower Booth. In the 18th century, you had a historic cotton mill was built there in 1795 on the site of a corn mill and tannery by Nicholas Cresswell. And so the people, Hollins Cross, was the people who used to work in Castleton. Mainly women would hike over Hollins Cross every day, which is at a 1,000-foot pass into the mill. Now the mill continued until about 1940, spinning cotton, and it was restored in the early 1970s by the Landmark Trust, and now people are living there, and it's all been sold off as apartments. So that's a potted history of Edale. Still a bit of snow left in the gullies, just in the lieu of the sun really, so you wouldn't get to it here. So I expect there'll be a little bit more on Kinder in the nooks and crannies, so it might be a bit of fun. But we'll see how we get on. I'm hoping most of it's melted. It's looking like it, because just tend to get the sun in that face. There's a bit of a breeze now. You can see you're not getting above freezing here, probably about -1, -2 I think. Hope Cross is just down here, I can just see it. So I think what I'll do, I'll probably stick the old waterproof on, because we're going to veer off up there and then across to the left up to, I can see where the campsite is there. You can see them crags there. I think that's Crookstone Knoll. There's like a ledge between those two crags, and that's like a nice little camping spot. No end of people have been there. Paul Mesner's done it, Hengist has done it, everybody, Andrew Beavers has done it, you know, Dean Reed's done it, you name it, people have done it. So I might camp up there in winter, I think, because I can imagine in summer that will be a bit of a mare. So yeah, stunning views. Here we are, Hope Cross. Now this used to have a cross on top, it's now got a plinth, but I think this existing one, that bit on the top is 17th century, so you can see there it says Sheffield, and then Glossop, Edale, and Hope. So that was like a way marker. There used to be a cross on top, so you would walk through, and this would just tell you you're on the right path. We're headed over that way, but I'm going to put my hard shell on, I think. Well, we're now going to veer off the Roman road, and we're going to head up here now, up Crookstone Hill. So we go past the barn, up past the little quarry that's a camping site, we'll check that out, and then yeah, up onto the edge path. Go through this gate because I can't be asked to go over a stile. There's like a very thin film of ice on here. You've got Allport Castles there, Wynn Hill, I think that's Higator, and the like over there. Stunning views. You've got the reservoirs just over this hill, Lady Bower and that. But that's a good place for a camp. Allport Castles, biggest landslip in the UK. It's bloody cold. I just swapped the batteries over because that battery was showing like, I don't know, 50%, and it just kept cutting out, like the cold. I've heard Mr. Beavers mention these Enduro batteries aren't that good in the cold. Well, that just proved it. But look at this tree, it's covered in like rime frost. really has dropped now. I've put my gloves on. These are quite cool gloves. The missus bought these. They're touch sensitive for phones, but also they're quite thin, almost like a neoprene. But yeah, you can feel the temperature's really dropping now. I guess with the wind chill it's probably about -4, -5 at a guess. I've got my hard shell on now, but when you stop, you start to cool down quite rapidly. And there's some fell runners out here in t-shirts and shorts. There must be they're a different breed, aren't they? There's Crookstone Knoll and a little bit of a quarry or ledge. So we follow the path up there and crack on up towards the top. But yeah, we're heading into the clag now. It's alright when you drop out that wind, but that wind really does drop the temperature, as you all well know. But yeah, now I'm moving again. I've warmed up quite quickly. So that's the thing in winter, don't stop too often. And I've got my down jacket if I was going to stop for any length of time, or if I get stuck anywhere and get cold. I've also got first aid kit, a whistle, Converse map, and an emergency sort of bivvy suit type bag. You can actually walk in it, but I've got that too, so we should all be good if anything happens to me or anybody else. And there's a campsite there, a little plateau there underneath them rocks. So I'm going to come back there and do that one day. We follow the path up here, winds up over the top and up onto the main path, and then follow the edge. But we're just coming into the cloud now. You can see we're about level with the cloud base. You can see Mam Tor Loose Hill. We're going to be coming over Hollins Cross over there on the way back. Anyway, up here, and I'm going to stop for some lunch somewhere sheltered, have a cup of coffee, warm up a little bit. There's a kestrel there, just hovering. Might see if I can get that on camera. Now in the gullies, a bit of snow in the gullies here. Our path goes up there. Luckily people have been up before me. Then we're on the top. But everything's covered in a frost. Tells you how cold it is. And that wind biting. Should have bought me a new Through Dark snood with me, but I didn't think I'd need it. Somebody went a bit deep there. It's not too bad this with this grit, and there's footholds already in, so not too bad at all that. Luckily, be a bit careful on the edge here. There we are, on the edge now. On Kinder Scout, the highest point in the Peak District. Superb. Right, let's crack on. Ice in the beard, if you can see that. Ice in the beard. With all the condensation from my breath's freezing. That's how cool it is. But yep, along here. Once we got to the top here, see if I can find somewhere a bit sheltered. Grab a ham sandwich and a cup of coffee. I've also got a local delicacy, the pudding. I'll show you that when we get there. Look at that. The brook coming through, a little bit of a snowdrift there. We'll follow this path here. We're well trodden. Don't want to put a foot through that, do we? Beautiful. There's a little skylark or something ahead of me. See it on that rock? We get quite close and it flies off. Put it about. Got no food for you, mate, sorry. We're heading over here towards Ringing Roger, and then we're going to crack on over to Grindslow Knoll, just up a Golden Clough and that. So Ringing Roger might be where I take a break, I think. There, see it again, it's on the ice there, look. Wouldn't stay long enough, still long enough for a bloody photo though. Not many people up here today. It's a bit cool. Luckily, all the mud's frozen. If otherwise it's a bit of a right mud path, but it's just rock solid. So might be an interesting descent off Grindsbrook. I'm not going down the clough. I'm going to go on the path that comes off the knoll. There's like a commissive path down into the Pennine Way there. So that's what we're planning to do. He's off now, well and truly. So the odd occasional snowdrift where these brooks are. they would have been in full flow probably, and all snow now. Cool. Not quite needing the micro spikes, luckily, because I forgot the fucking things. But anyway, no stunning views sadly, so we'll just keep going along this edge path, or just below the edge path, and then we'll meet up with it at Ringing Roger. The frozen beard. About 6¼ miles left, so we're well over halfway now. But yeah, stunning views. You can see down into Edale just there, but we are just in the cloud here. That route takes you down to the bottom of Ringing Roger, the nab and that down there, but we're going to head up here and over the top. Here behind us is Ringing Roger. So-called Ringing Roger because apparently when the wind's up it makes an echoing ringing sound through the rocks apparently. I never heard that when I was here, it was just midge hell. But we've just come over here, all along that edge. You see them people over there, that's a good camp spot over there. I think we're making reasonable time at the minute. So not doing too bad at all. Just saying we've been filming and whatever. It's a bit more sheltered now in this bit of the path. Up there on the tops it was getting quite windy and quite cold. But yeah, we're going to head down here, sit on these rocks, have a brew, and then we'll join the path and head back up. So we'll go and grab a ham sandwich, maybe have a little chat, let's see. So, Ringing Roger, all these rocks here. I camped just on that spot there, you can see a little bit of a green spot. I bet a lot of people camp there, just about fit a tent on. But this is Ringing Roger, looking down into Edale, over the nab. That's the nab there just in front of us. We're going to cut back here, and we could drop in down into Edale with a nab, but the route I got today I want to get the miles in, so we're going to head up over to Grindsbrook, come down that far side. There's a path over there that comes down and across the bottom, so that's what we'll do. We're going to sit on these rocks over here, lovely and quiet now. I've probably seen about 4 people today. Sit down here, get the pack off, have some lunch. Got a ham sandwich and this. I'm not going to eat all of this by the way, but a Bakewell pudding. Now if you want energy, you want calories, that's what you want. So your Bakewell tart made, Bakewell pudding. It's like a giant egg custard. Lots of calories in there, lots of sugar, protein. Also going to have a coffee on it. We'll see how long this thing films for. Seems alright now. I kept the camera out of the wind. I think it's the wind that was fucking it up earlier. But it seems alright since I've just kept it out of the wind. But we'll have a coffee. We'll have a brew. Love these gloves. They're just so thin and touch sensitive, although like a twat. My phone is fingerprint recognition, and I was trying it with my gloves on. Duh. Can be a bit of a tard sometimes. Anyway, we'll have a coffee and a chat. So yeah, all's going well in personal life. My missus, after a year, had a year battle with the NHS, right up to parliamentary ombudsman, you know, took it everywhere I could, pals, all that lot of. Finally got an operation date of February the 5th, so fingers are crossed. 5th. My missus hates it when I say 5th. Yeah, so that's on February the 5th, so a major operation. So that's a year later than it should have been after being cancelled when she was on the table virtually. So probably won't be out for a few weeks after that, until she's able to get about the house. She's got to spend about 2 weeks pretty much laid up. But yeah, good to get out on Kinder. Like I said earlier, I want to get on some big walks and big hikes and big camps this year. So, you know, the Edale skyline, the Hope Valley round, the Kinder skyline are all on the cards. Today's about 14 miles, 2,375 foot. So I want to build up to get around the 20-mile mark. Once I'm up there, I know I can do that. And then really then it's just a case of doing that sort of mileage with your camping gear on. So I might do them in one go. I might split it up and do a wild camp halfway around. So we'll see how we go. So, you know, while we're here, if you do like wild camping, history, hiking, some ginger nutter ranting away, then by all means subscribe, like to the channel, comment. I always like to comment and reply to them. I do like a bit of banter, so don't worry, you won't offend me. Probably the other way around if anything. So yeah, I'm going to get stuck into this, get my sandwich down me, get some of this bakewell pudding, then get back on the move, because you do sort of cool down very quickly if you keep still. Yeah, I won't bother going for it. I was going to go for my pack today, but I think I'll save that for when I'm off. Not off, but when the missus is laid up in bed, I can do some videos in the front room and that. So I think I'll go for my hiking kit and my camping kit then. This watch, like I say, Phoenix 7 watch, I'll probably do a video on that as well. It's really good. I thought they used the Outdoor Active just occasionally, just to confirm stuff. Well, that's half of the bakewell talk gone. I'll have a bloody diabetic coma in a minute. Just having a coffee. These are the best flasks you can ever buy, Stanley flasks. This will keep stuff warm for 24 hours or more. I used to take it when I used to go fishing a lot, but yeah, banging. So second cup of coffee, warm up, and then on the way we'll go again. Look at those rocks there, just how they've been carved like that with the elements and the erosion. It's just fantastic, isn't it? So cool, you can see all sorts of things in there, can't you? We're heading along this path and then over to Grindsbrook, and then we're coming down that path there. You can just see it. That's how we're going to come down from the knoll down into the valley. I'm not going to bother trying to come down Grindsbrook today with all this ice. Just not worth it. It's a bit of a scramble at the top. So yeah, heading this way. That's what you call a cairn. Or a mound of some sort. Well yeah, we're heading up there, you can hear them on the top. Look at that cool rock. Superb, look at all the frozen lichen. Fantastic. Not far from Grindsbrook, just past where the youngsters, good to see them out, the waterproof's on, but the footwear, leggings and white trainers up here, heading that way into the snow. Anyway, the clouds come in now, really not seeing a lot at all. You can see where this path's being eroded away. There's bits of that like on Mill Hill and Braeglow. But fair play to the people who laid all of this. It's all been volunteers. They sort of helicopter it in. But even so, there's some graft gone in that. Still a bit of snow in this drift. A freezing frog. Freezing fog. I swear I've had a stroke here. Getting the words mixed up. But beautiful landscape. Just look at all the frosted, frozen vegetation, and the fog and the cloud just makes it a little bit more mysterious and a lot quieter too. Can't beat it. Don't always have to have blue skies and sunshine, do you? This is Upper Tor, not far from Grindsbrook now. It's a steep old climb down there. I don't think I'll bother with that today, we'll go over to the knoll. But yeah, the bloody water pipe froze up in my water reservoir. So I spent about 2 minutes warming it up with my hands and then sucking on it thinking I couldn't get any water through. And the valve was shut. Anyway, sorted now. Just to make sure I keep taking some water through that regular. But yeah, oh, look, a little robin then. A little robin on that rock. This is Grindsbrook, all the icicles. We're going to go across there in a minute. And you can also go down that path there. Super duper. There we go. Look at that. Proper frozen. You see, like, you can go down that way. We'll not bother today. It's cool. Look at that. This is the cairn at the top of Grindsbrook. We're going to head off over that way. So over and up here, over to the knoll. This is the route of the old Pennine Way. It used to come up Grindsbrook. Look at them superb ice crystals there. Look at that, a bit like the salt cellar, isn't it, on Derwent Edge, that. Anyway, we're going to crack on down here. Second lot of people I've seen out today with no gear on. Fucking jogging bottoms and trains. Fucking unreal, mate. If they got into trouble, they'd be fucked. Because it won't take long to cool down once you stop in that gear. And they didn't seem to have anything with them. So, anyway, that seems to be the generation these days, isn't it? But, hey ho, what can you do? I say, take all the warning labels off everything and let evolution sort it all out. That's my view. Anyway, along the edge path, a little bit longer. We've got about 4.5 miles to go. She'll be back just before 4, I think. Here we are at Grindslow Knoll. There'll be nothing to see from the top, so I'm going to keep on the path that goes round and down. So, no views today. Right, mate. Different breed, aren't they, fell runners? Down off a knoll now. A couple of little slippy bits there, but not too bad. And we just follow this path down now, all the way back down onto the Pennine Way and back into Edale. So not a lot to see going down here, I don't think. GoPro's playing up again, don't know why. But yeah, we're just heading down here now. Join with the Pennine path there, down to Edale, up and over Hollins Cross. Which doesn't look that bad from here, but it's a bit of a fucker. And then back home for a hot bath and sausage casserole. This the missus has had on all day in the slow cooker. Oh, I'm a spoilt man, I really am. A very lucky man. Anyway, this is absolutely torturous, this path. Boulders and rocks and slippy. Surprise, surprise, not locked. It is now. Oh. Okay, almost at the end of this stony path. Always seems to bruise my toes a little bit coming downhill in this sort of terrain. I'm 57, so what would you expect? So yeah, we go down as a concessionary or permissive footpath over to the left across the field, and then you join on to the Pennine Way, or the new Pennine Way. This was Grindsbrook was the old Pennine Way originally, but that's quite a scramble at the top, and you have to go across the middle of the plateau, and I'm guessing people didn't like that too much. A lot of you will recognise this, the path down into Edale at the Nag's Head, and then we follow the road for a bit before heading across the fields, which will be muddy to say the least, but I'll make a change from ice and rock. Shame I'm not drinking. What a stunning old barn, probably 18th century looking at it, but what a stunner. You knew how to build things back then, mate. We're going to wander down here. This path goes under the footbridge, under the footbridge, you dick, under the road, and also under the railway line, I think, of these old squeeze styles. People were clearly a lot thinner back then, but the sheep wouldn't be able to get through, that was the idea. But imagine going back to the old, going up that, which is the old corpse road, you sort of think, Gordon Bennett, lugging a body over there, there'd probably be 2 more bodies in when you get by the time you get over there, wouldn't there? But yeah, you can see the Great Ridge, Lewes Hill, Back Tor, Hollins Cross, Mam Tor, Mam Nick. Looks like it's absolutely rammed up there. You'll get a great sunset there, mate. Honestly. Oh, it's just gone mad. Apparently there's one TikToker put it up in the snow, I think it was. It does look good in the snow. Now him and his fucking dogs up there. I avoid the plague. I go in them in a week sometimes, after work maybe, just for a quick sort of stretch of the legs. But weekends, mate, I've done it a couple of times. Forget it. Absolutely forget it. If you go up in the evening, they're all smoking weed and drinking. In the morning, it's just rammed with people looking for the sunrise. But anyway, starting to feel it a little bit now. It's probably the furthest I've walked for a long time. I think it's about 14 miles, but quite a bit of climbing as well. So yeah, that last bit's just going to be the killer. But I'll be glad when that's done. But I'm warming up now. Now we've dropped, my water's unfrozen on me water reservoir so I can drink. I'll have to put something in it, you know, like some salts or something, you know, electrolytes or something. They'll stop it freezing so easy. But look, yeah, we've come all the way along the top of there and down there, side of Grindsbrook. Cracking walk, even in the fog. It's beautiful, and there's less people up there, which is always good. So here we are, going under the old Manchester to Sheffield line. Fucking hell. Glad I put my gaiters on. Okay. The first time I've needed them now. Right, the footpath goes off over here now, to the left. So, onto the main road by that house, up that farm track, and you can see it goes up that way. A river now, and a brook coming down there off the Great Ridge. Yeah, you can see where we came along the old Roman road there, and right across here and down there. Okay, now I think I might have a blister. That's been the first one in years. Okay, now. Yep. Some steps there just to already grind it in. But look at that view of Edale. Stunning. Beautiful. Proper old farm there. So yeah, we have a steep bit here, then to the left, up over to Hollins Cross. Well, that's the last bit of climb out of the way. Fuck me, that was brutal. After walking about 13 mile across there and up there. Oh, but brilliant. Apartment, you can see the mill there, it's now apartments, and there are the cottages there. Here we are, Hollins Cross. No more fucking climbing. Mam Tor that way. Loose Hill that way. We're going down. That's our route home, down here, then all the way along into the village. No more fucking climbing. Beautiful panorama of the Hope Valley here, up towards Safford. You got Hope, Bamford over that way. You got the cement works. You then got Castleton. You got Peveril Castle, Cowneck, Winnet's Pass, and then Mam Tor and the Great Ridge. Super duper. So we're not far off the bottom now. Then we'll be on to Holliford Lane. Imagine bringing a coffin over here. Fucking hell. Anyway, we don't have to do that anymore. So yeah, just rang the missus, so there's a hot bath waiting and a sausage casserole. Am I going to need that fucker? That's weathering well. That wasn't that long ago, that was new. Bloody hell. Down the old Corpse Road now. All these paved tracks. These had been paved hundreds of years ago. Come down here with a horse and cart with a coffin on the back. Just amazing, isn't it? And also women and children who worked in the mill, because it's predominantly women and children, would have walked this every day. And apparently when it was snowing, they would kip on the floors of the mill by the machines to keep warm. So a lot of it was steam powered. So if we couldn't get back home, that's where they stayed for the night. We are a lucky generation, the last few, aren't we, really? We've had any real fucking hardships. Ooh, that's interesting. Squeeze through there without catching yourself on that barbed wire. Proper come over that, look at that. Just finding to be doing a squat. Oh, my fucking legs, man. That Hollins Cross is brutal. Whichever way you go up and down it. It's always at the end of the walk, isn't it? Anyway, flat walking now. We'll get onto this road. I love this old stoop here, look. There would have been way markers potentially before that, or an old style or something. So, we're stood here at the bottom of what they used to call the Ligate. You've got the Sig Gate over there, Ligate. Gate means road. It's an old northern English word for road. But this was from the, about the coffin roads and etc. These bits here, the fields in, the fields in front, you can see this ridge and furrow. So they're really old. That's really old from the medieval system of agriculture. And these were known as windy wappings and breedy butts. Normally the fields describe the location or topography of the field. Butts refers to the medieval way of ploughing in strips. So now we're going to head down here back into the village. While we're doing that, I might as well give you a quick update, an outro, and then just finish off with a few shots. My words, mate, I'm buggered. So that was, I think, about 14 miles, 2,375 foot of ascent. I'll double check the numbers when I get back, so I'm tracking it. So we started out in Castleton, went through Hope, then followed the old Roman road up to Hope Cross, just at the bottom of Win Hill there. We then carried on a bit and then turned left over to Crookstone Hill and Crookstone Knoll, and then we came across the top of the plateau past Never Tor, Upper Tor, Ringing Roger, top of Grindsbrook, over to Grindsbrook Knoll, drop down into Edale, across the bottom of Edale, up over Hollins Cross, which was brutal when you're at the end of your walk, believe me, and then back into Castleton down Holliford Lane. Really enjoyed that. That is about my limit, I think. My feet are starting to hurt a little bit. I've got the scarpers rather than the shoes, whether that's the issue. I tend to find going downhill in the scarpers, I tend to just sort of bruise my toes a little bit sometimes, even though my feet are quite tight. I thought I had a blister forming, but I can't feel that now, so that's either gone massive or it was just a bit of a hot spot. So yeah, didn't see many people up there. I've given a bit of history of the places as I've gone through and any sort of points. One good thing, if you ever are up on Kinder, if you can ever find a copy of the Kinder log by Trevor Nelthorpe, I don't think it's in print anymore, printed about 85, I managed to find a copy. Well, he also follows me on Facebook, funnily enough, but that is the most meticulous, detailed book of Kinder Scout, all the features, grid references, bit of history, and some walks at the back and some diagrams, a bit like Wainwright. Fantastic book, well worth it if you can find a copy. Like I say, you might struggle now, but I managed to find one online and get hold of it, so highly recommended. So yeah, good walk. I need to push it a bit more if I'm going to get to a big hike, so I need to be up at around the 20-mile mark. I think if I'm going to do something that long, I probably would do it in the shoes rather than the boots, just that little bit lighter. So now I'm going to head home, I'll down a can of sugary pop, the rest of my coffee, get in a hot bath, get a sausage casserole down me, and I'll catch you on the next one. Ready? Poor badger. Roadkill, hopefully.